Honest, you know what? Jake, the way you laughed, you know.
Yo,
You said
that took me out. I wasn't ready.
Because you're like, what sense you different?
Yeah, no, I need you to clarify. I need you to.
Honest, you know, I felt, you know, I was like, oh, Jesus. Can we take that again? No. Can we take that part again? Because, you know,
Hi, a peek into Eswatini family. My name is Nombusi Mtetwa and I am your host. Welcome back to our season 2. So season 2 is about business people in the country, you know. If you have a business, this is for you. If you want to start a business, this is for you. Like we get into the details of how to start a business, of what challenges you face and how to motivate one, you know, who wants to enter in that business sector. So our first guest speaker today is Stanley Mberengwa. Stanley is into photography, videography and graphics designing. And our interviewer is our very own beautiful Jade Twala. So let's head back to the studio and see what Stanley has to unpack for us. Bye.
Hello, Sanbonani, and welcome to A Pick into Eswatini Season 2. Thank you so much, Nombusi, for that wonderful introduction. Yes, I am Jade, your new interviewer, and today we have a very brand new face in the studio. We have Stanley. Stanley, how are you?
Hi, Jade. I'm okay. I'm good.
Oh, you're good.
I'm good. I can't complain. Everything is all good.
All right.
How are you?
I know I'm good. I'm pretty good. Excited. Doing my first interview. Weather's pretty hot, so yeah, that's the only downfall.
Yes.
But anyway, for the people at home seeing you for the first time, could you please give us a brief intro as to who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Stanley Mberengwa. I'm a young entrepreneur based in Zimbabwe, and I am a photographer and a graphics designer.
That's very interesting. So, were you born in Zimbabwe?
Yes, I was born in Zimbabwe.
You were born in Zimbabwe, and
But I moved to Eswatini, and I basically had all my childhood here.
here in
I
Eswatini.
grew up in Eswatini.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
then had to go back from school.
Oh, so you grew up in Zimbabwe, came to Eswatini,
I was born
you were
in
born-
Zimbabwe.
grew up in Eswatini.
2009 came to Eswatini, learned in Eswatini up to 2015, and then went back home for
Zimbabwe.
high school
That's
and
very.
university where I am right now.
Oh, so you're okay. That's very interesting. And what are you studying in university?
I am doing an honors degree in computer science with the University of Zimbabwe.
Oh, that's very interesting.
It is.
So, as a young entrepreneur in Zimbabwe, how are the markets different in Zimbabwe and Eswatini in your field?
I would say the markets are different geographically based on population. The population size in one city, the city of Harare, which is the first capital of Zimbabwe, is about nearly half, if not the same, as the population of the entire country in Eswatini. So
Oh.
by virtue of there being a larger demographic of different kind of people, the market is wide and it varies from all different places.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us about the origin story of your business?
The origin story of my business, well, it's quite interesting. It started off when I was in high school.
Yeah.
In high school in Zimbabwe, we use the form system, Form 1 to Form 6. So I was in Form 4. That's when I started developing the passion of photography. Really, I was a person who was very enthusiastic about scenery. Sunsets, I love sunsets. Landscapes, I love landscapes. And why particularly these things? It was the way the sunlight, when the sun sets, the way the sunlight would bounce off all these landscapes. So it arose certain feelings and emotions within me. And I made it my heart's determination to capture those feelings and emotions and make other people experience them.
I think you just explained a very important point in some way, that photography is not just about taking pictures.
It's not point and shoot.
You know, it's not just taking a camera and then pointing and shoot. It's more than that.
I would argue that you can give a person the most expensive and the most high-grade camera in the world,
Yeah.
and they would still take.
Now that you've mentioned it, I've remembered something. So I had a friend who took pictures with the camera, like a professional camera. But they didn't come out like they were from a professional camera. It's like they were taken from a picture. And then another friend took the same camera, and then took photos, but they were totally two different things. So it's like,
exactly.
Damn.
So in this field of photography, it's beyond what you see. The motto and the slogan that we run on is, it's all about perception. What do you see? What do you perceive? The way you look at one item might be different from the way that I perceive it.
Yeah.
And since we are on a background story, I actually didn't start off with proper camera. I would use my phone. And I remember back then, I had a Galaxy S8, a nice small Galaxy S8, which I would use to take photos of landscapes, because I always believed, and this quote is kind of stolen from a Fast and Furious movie, where Vin Diesel said, it's not about what's under the hood of the car, it's about who's behind the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So I took that and put it into the photography playground. Really, it's not about the equipment that you have, but rather the person behind the equipment, the ideas behind the equipment, how well you are able to maximize the little you have.
Yeah.
And the more the equipment increases, the higher the grade the things you get, the better the photography will be. So it wasn't all rosy and big lenses and stuff. Yeah.
That's a very interesting way.
That's the backstory.
That's a very interesting way of putting it. So what is the name of your company?
Well, the name of the company is Prolic Photography.
Prolic. What inspired the name?
The co-founder inspired the name.
Oh.
I have gotten this question so many times. What does Prolic mean? Right. Prolic is a word that is not in the dictionary. It's a word that he made up, right? And at first of all, it sounded cool. Remember, Form 4, we were kids. I would say I was, how old was I? 15 years old? Yeah, that's when I started. So, we were kids, like Prolic. That sounds good, professional, Q for the quality, So, Prolic Photography.
That's very interesting. So in your 5+ years of photography, what have been some of the highs and lows?
The highs and lows. Well, the highs have been achieving or seeing what you had hoped for initially for the company or the business manifest. As I said, one of our major goals is to convey emotion, to tell a story. So the highs was when I took a photograph, edited it, and showed it to people. And people were like, wow. That was such a great high, because I'm like, yes, they are feeling the way I want them to feel. Not because it's me or anything, but because the picture in itself is just so great. And there's really a deeper meaning behind it, which we'll get to as we go forward with this interview. So those were some really pretty interesting highs. The money was secondary. Honestly, the money was always secondary. But the ability to put joy in people's hearts because of a photograph was really a high. And then a low is that when you are young and you enter this field of entrepreneurship, you have high hopes. Sometimes you also have unrealistic dreams. You know, like I'm going to shoot this, I'm going to post this, I'm going to blow up, I'm going to be the next biggest thing.
Yeah. Like they say, Delulu is the new Solulu, so...
You're joking, my friend. But, yeah, Delulu, man, delusional.
I mean...
So, yeah, you know, you know, it's like out there. So, you be hoping that I'm going to take this shot, I'm going to post it on Facebook, I'm going to post it on Instagram, and then it's going to gain 3,000 likes in 3 days.
Yeah.
Yet, really, you know, it really doesn't work that way, you know. So I would say those were some lows. And another low was rebuke and correction. I had mentors, 2 mentors, that I always send my shots to. So, you know, you take a shot with all your heart. You're like, yes, I shot, I didn't miss. You know. Okay. Took a shot. I sent it. And then my mentor is like, "Aye, Baba.
Wow.
This is a mess." I'm like, huh? It's like, no, this is a mess. I'm like, huh? Eish. It hurts, man. But now when you look back on it, you're like, but you know, it was worth it. You know, when I look back at the same images that I thought were good 5 years now, I'm like, hey, man, what was I doing here, man? Eish.
Yeah.
So I would say those are some highs and the lows.
So how did you deal with the admit high expectations that you had?
I woke up and I came back to life.
Yeah, okay.
I woke up, you know, and I have to be, and I have to show gratitude to my mentors. One of them is Tawana Svanda. Tawana Svanda, yeah, I'm throwing out his name like this, you know, but he's a grown man old enough to be my dad. But he's Tawana Spanda, based in a photographer and cinematographer based in Bulawayo. And I have an uncle in South Africa. I call him Uncle Doug. You know, he's into lenses and stuff. So they helped me understand what exactly this industry is, as there are people who had already been there. I had mentors, you know, and mentors are very important in helping you walk the path that they have already walked. So I would say, you know, they really helped me wake up and come back
from the Lululand.
Delulu. It's not always the Solulu.
Nah, it depends. It depends. So apart from conveying emotions through pictures, what would you say is the other one thing that sets you apart from other people in the same industry?
The way we deliver our services. It's very different. So we are based, our business model is based on delivering what the customer needs in the shortest time possible and at the most affordable or cheapest price range. You'd be shocked at the way we price our shoots and the way we price our services. Some would even say it's unreal. Why are you giving yourself all of this work? Yet, really, it's... the model is based on not necessarily striking gold with one customer, but rather mining, I would say, platinum over a wide range of mines. And over time and over a given range or period of time, you accumulate a more steady cash flow compared to someone who hikes up his prices and expects to just strike gold once,
Yeah.
rather than having a steady low price, but you know that you are getting lots of customers, that keeps a consistent cash flow. So I would say that's like the unique thing. The business model that we use is quite different from how other photographers out there are doing their stuff.
Oh, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So,
And you won't you won't see us on the streets moving around. Right? No. Hear me well. It's not a way of shunning. It's not shunning.
yeah.
What's unique is, right, we don't operate on the streets, but rather we use the avenues we have of social media and the family or the circle of friends that we have to boost the business, right? Rather than attacking an audience that I don't know or that I am not sure if I'll go out there and make it or not, we rather work with a limited and a controlled number of people who, I have friends and families that have businesses, and their friends can refer them to other people, and it grows like that in that way, so that the time that we are working with subscription-based things where you know that, I have this set thing to do, I have this set thing to do, rather than being out there and waiting for the customer to come.
So you mentioned how your business doesn't operate in the streets. Could you give clarity on that, and also how do you compensate for the fact that you are not working on the streets?
Okay, so our business model is structured in such a way where our main target audience are the people that are around us and the influence that they have on other people, right? For instance, if you have friends and family members that have a business, you start there. Offer the graphics design services, advertising services, designing flyers, and photography if they need it, videos if they need it, and then using their connections and assets to further spread, and then the whole chain just keeps going and going and going, giving this web effect. So this model is aimed towards having a steady and a consistent cash flow, so that we don't always have to be expecting or waiting for clients to show up or pop up. We have businesses, targeted businesses that will run on a subscription-based services where we offer them monthly or weekly as we go forward.
That's very interesting. And I like that you said that, because it also gives into the difference between clients and customers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You said it.
Because in my head, it's like customers are the ones you find in the streets.
Exactly.
And then the clients are the ones who keep on coming back and
and they
refer
look for
to.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's very, very interesting. So these days, we're all about AI.
We're
all about AI. So
all about AI.
as a graphic designer, do you feel threatened by AI, or are you seeing it as a collaborator?
I'm not threatened at all. I'm actually happy it's there.
Oh.
I use AI. It makes my work so much easier. As a computer scientist and as a person studying computer science who understands this field of technology, AI is not something we should shun away or be afraid of, but rather something that we should productively embrace and use to its maximum. Honestly, like, I've seen how other people, use AI. We are being too kind and gentle on it. Give it prompts and use it to its max. Give it challenging and complicated things, and get the best out of it. When I'm doing video production, I use AI to assist me with scripting. Scripting how I'm going to video. It gives me a nice schedule. This first few minutes, handle this, talk about this in point form, do this, and that. I can say, okay, I'm going for a photo shoot by a river and this, and that. What are the things to take note of? What are the things to take into consideration? I am designing this, and that. May I have some catchphrases I can use for this company? May I have some? It's an access to an unlimited database of anything you could ever need, and it gets it all for you. So AI is something that I think all entrepreneurs should use. It lessens the workload that you have to do, because being an entrepreneur is mentally taxing because of the various things that you have to deal with. So the AI is there to help and assist.
All right. So as someone who uses AI a lot, how do you balance the artificial intelligence with being an actual human, like
With being
mixing
actual
in
human.
the human
Right.
factor into the...
The human factor is, as I mentioned in the previous point, I tell it exactly what I need and what it needs to do to the dot. If you check my prompt, my AI prompts are like paragraphs, a whole paragraph of a prompt. That's how I put in my human factor. I give it as much detail as I need. And then after it pumps out what it pumps out, I go through a review and correct some things and change some things that I feel need to be changed. That's how I balance it,
Oh,
by
that's-
using it in the most efficient way possible.
So in short, we shouldn't be scared of AI. We should use it to our advantage.
And learn to embrace it, and learn to build our systems around it. It's not going anywhere. That's the
Yeah,
point.
that's true. That's very, very true. So in your opinion, what are the most important skills for a graphic designer in the age of AI? Like, how can they stay relevant in this evolving field?
Skill. I would say discipline. I don't want to lie. There are many tutorials, many countless videos someone can watch. You can learn all of those things you want to learn, but if the discipline is not there to stay consistent with your work, then I think that would be like the biggest downfall to it, because designing is not difficult these days. Production, it's all about learning. You can learn. The skill, the word skill is something that's, I would say, personal in a way. When we say someone is skilled, it's more personal, but anyone can do anything if they learn how to do it. So I wouldn't say there's a particular skill that you need to have or develop. I would say the discipline really to apply what you've learned. And then as you continually and consistently work on what you're doing, you will build your own skills where you'll be like, you notice your strengths, you notice your weaknesses, because everyone is different. Everyone is different.
So knowing what you know now in this field that you are in, is there something that you would have done differently in the beginning?
I'm gonna banter myself right now. Something I wished I had done differently was, sadly, to stay consistent.
Oh.
I have been inconsistent for the past years. And when I look at the statistics and the trends of how my growth is projectile towards, like how that projectile is going, had I been consistent back then, I would be further than where I am right now. I would be having more content than I do right now. Social media is an algorithm. It's an algorithm, and the more you post or the more you expose yourself to the algorithm, the moment it picks you or it picks your content and starts pushing it out there, the more you begin to grow. But in order for that to happen, you need to be consistently working on things. So I would think the setback, what I wish I would have done differently was to be consistent I would be having more number of users, more number of, if I had been consistent.
That's very, very interesting. So apart from being disciplined and being consistent, what's another thing that you would say is another important part of being a graphic designer and a photographer?
Creativity. Oof. There are rules, but there are no rules. Hear me? There are rules,
Yeah.
but there are no rules. Understand the pillars of photography, understand the pillars of graphics engineering. After you're done, the world is your playground. It's like a house. Understand the engineering behind why I'm laying a foundation, why I'm using the bricks I'm using, why my windows are faced the way they are facing. After I've understood those fundamentals, I can now start being creative. There are rules, but there are no rules.
That's a very interesting way of putting it.
That's the creative.
Yeah.
Particularly with the photo editing. Honestly, I have come across it many times where, I've come to learn that it's not all people who are receptive of creativity. You come and you showed them a photo, they're like, it's too dark, it's too bright, there's too much saturation, your white balance isn't too good, your black points, your white points, your shadows, your contrasts. But then that's the fun of it. A picture is not supposed to be one way. Photography is about how you play with your light. It's all about light. Photo, it's in the name, photo. Photo means light. Understand the fundamentals of how light works and then play around with it. You will be amazed at the things that come out. Yeah, so rules, but there are no rules.
Wow. This was a very interesting conversation about photography. We've been learning about lights and how AI is not really that scary and everything else. So as we come to the end of the show, could you kindly share how potential clients can get in touch with you?
Well, potential clients can get in touch with my number. Yeah, it's a Zimbabwean number. So I'm sure we can put it down there somewhere. Yeah, and then social media platforms. My Instagram is it's popping up right there. It's my Instagram. There's my Facebook, and that's my WhatsApp number. That's how you can contact us. Email, there it is. Contact us there. Yeah.
Right.
And it's not, the geography is really not a factor, how far we are. We also provide services internationally, since we are an international organization. By the way, we are based in Eswatini, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Canada. So from all around the world, if you need any service, it's a matter of emailing, contacting. We work, and then we use world remittance organizations for sending money. So it's flexible from anywhere in the world you are.
That is very, very interesting. And there you have it, folks, for our very first episode of season 2 of Epic into Eswatini. I've definitely learned a lot about lighting and just promoting your business and being disciplined and consistent. And I'm sure you have enjoyed this episode, and catch us next time. Bye.
Thank you, Stanley, for sharing with us your journey of how you fell in love with the whole idea of photography, videography, and even graphics designing. I've learned that it doesn't matter what equipment you have, but it's the person behind that matters, the ideas that you have that will make the product, the end product, beautiful. Thank you for watching. If you're our first-time viewer, please hit the subscribe button, like, comment, follow us on our Instagram page, our Facebook page, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Until we see you next time, I am signing out. Bye.